What's going on, guys? Happy Sunday and welcome to your second stimulus check update and stimulus package update. This morning we have heard from President Trump on Twitter again multiple times. Once where he says Joe Biden won. The second one was one just to let everybody know that he is not conceding. We also have news that the city of Atlanta, in Atlanta, Georgia, is struggling to give away over $22 million in rental and housing relief. And the person that runs this program is saying it is due to many people being worried they will be judged for taking this type of relief. For people in Atlanta, this could be up to $5,000 in a housing payment. If you need help, go and seek help. There's many different rental assistance programs out there, not just in Atlanta, Georgia, in Texas, in Washington, in Florida, in California, everywhere. Every single state has some form of rental assistance currently in place. So if you need help paying your rent or your mortgage, go and seek this help. If you need assistance on that, you don't know where to go, comment down below and I will help you out. We also do have news regarding stimulus. Okay? First, let's address what President Trump said this morning, and then we can get into the stimulus news for the day. This morning, President Trump tweeted, and I quote, "He won because the election was rigged. No vote watchers or observers were allowed. Vote tabulated by a radical left privately owned company, Dominion, with a bad reputation and bum equipment that couldn't even qualify for Texas, which I won by a lot. The fake and silent media and more." About an hour after President Trump posted that tweet, he said this, "He only won in the eyes of the fake news media. I concede nothing. We have a long way to go. This was a rigged election." So there you go. President Trump is not conceding and will continue to contest this election. Now, I do have a question, though, which makes me wonder. If President Trump had so many issues going into the election, and we always have issues going into, such a big election, why does the government, why do they have so many issues with ballots, with how they're counted? Why is it that every single state has a different method to count the ballots, when they're going to be counted, who's going to count them? Why is every state different? Shouldn't this be something that is more on a federal level? That's just my understanding. That's just my take on it. I feel that in the election, the results, they should be 100% safe. There should be no question that there's no fraud. There's nothing. This is 2020. It was a horrible year, but this is 2020. We have so much equipment, so much data at our fingertips. How can stuff like this happen? And why can't people believe that things did actually happen for real? If Joe Biden won, great, he won. But if President Trump won, great, he won. Why do we have to question every little thing? So, all the while all this stuff's happening, Trump did tweet on Saturday that he wants Congress to pass stimulus. I did a video on this yesterday. If you didn't go get a chance to watch that, I'll link to it down below so you can go and check it out. Make sure you go and watch that so you're kind of up to date on everything that's going on. But he stated that the stimulus, it needs to be big and targeted and just get it done. At the same time, Joe Biden is demanding stimulus and help as well. Joe Biden said on Twitter, "I am president-elect, but will not be president until next year. COVID-19 does not respect dates on a calendar. It is accelerating right now. Urgent action is needed today, now, by this administration." Now, I agree that something needs to happen now. But who needs to do something about it? First off, Joe Biden cannot do anything. He cannot do anything. He is not president. He's not vice president. He has really nothing to do with anything right now. President Trump, he can't do much. And why can't he do much? He cannot do a lot because, yes, he is president, but he does not have the power to spend money. He does not have this power. Congress has this power. So who can help? Congress. But where's Congress? Well, Nancy Pelosi and the House are still on recess until tomorrow. And the Senate, well, Mitch McConnell only wants to pass a $500 billion stimulus package, which many people, many experts, and many economists are saying is far too little. It needs to be much more. Targeted's fine, but it needs to be much more. Right now, my question to both President Trump and to Joe Biden: why don't you get off Twitter, call Nancy Pelosi, call Mitch McConnell, call anybody in Congress, and demand that they get something done? We need something to happen, and we need it to happen now. Yes, we understand they both have different agendas. They both have different goals, values in life in general, and I get that. That's fine. But right now, Congress, President Trump, Joe Biden, whoever, they need to value the American people first over their own agendas. Mitch McConnell right now is so out of touch with everything, with how much stimulus is actually needed to get through this pandemic. You would think somebody that has been in the Senate for as long as he has should know really what we're going through, should have a good understanding. Well, he doesn't. Nancy Pelosi keeps saying that the Republicans, they don't trust the science. They need to trust the science. She stated this multiple times, says it probably at least once a week, is we need to trust the science. But at the same time, Nancy Pelosi doesn't trust the math. In my eyes, you need to trust the science. You need to trust the math. You need to value the information that you're getting from the experts in their field. Nancy Pelosi is not an expert in science. She's not an expert in math. She's not a top economist. She is not. Neither is Mitch McConnell. They need to trust the people that actually know what they're doing. I say this because Americans don't need $600 per week in unemployment. $400 would suffice based on what economists and experts are saying. That the majority of people, $600 was great. They were very excited to receive that, but they would have gotten by with a little bit under $400. I think it's like $360 some average would be fine per week. So they're saying $400 would suffice. Why can't we settle on $400? That's what President Trump wanted. Ultimately, he ended up giving $300, and then the other $100 was supposed to come from the state, but he did what he had to do. State and local governments, they don't need $417 billion. They don't need that. Based on what Republicans are estimating, based on what economists and experts are tabulating as well, $300 billion is more than enough for state and local governments to cover any of the expenses, any of the losses they incurred due to COVID. Nancy Pelosi, she don't want to trust this math. $1,200 stimulus checks, those sound great. Everybody's excited to get those $1,200 stimulus checks so they can go and buy that new TV, pay some back rent, pay their car, put some money back into savings, make sure they have some money to put food on the table for the next couple of weeks. Everyone's excited for that. But many economists say these checks fall woefully short for individuals with no dependents. Now, let me just give you an example. For me personally, it's myself, my wife, and our 3 kids. 5 people. $1,200 for myself, $1,200 for my wife, it's $2,400, plus $500 for 3 kids. Okay, that's $3,900. $3,900 can go fairly far for a family of 5. However, $1,200 for an individual, one person with no spouse and no dependents, gets $1,200. For rent, that $1,200 is pretty much going to be eaten up, if not completely wiped away. $3,900, you'd have a very big house or a very big apartment to be spending $3,900, unless you live in like New York City or San Francisco. But that's what these economists are saying. Why can't Nancy Pelosi, why can't she trust the math? And at the same time, why do Republicans not trust the science? and understand that, yes, we need to address testing, tracing, and treatment. Those are very important aspects of the next stimulus package, but at the same time, testing, tracing, and treatment costs money. Nancy Pelosi knows this. Mitch McConnell knows this. Why can't they come to an agreement? Joseph Stiglitz, a Nobel Prize winning economist, said, and I quote, "The delay in providing the stimulus almost surely will increase the amount of money necessary to restore the economy." What he's saying here, and this is somebody, a Nobel Prize winning economist, you don't get any better than this, right? So he's just saying that the longer we wait, the longer the delay is. It means just the more money we are going to have to spend to restore the economy to where it once was. If our Congress cannot look at what these top economists, not just an economist, this is a top economist, a Nobel Prize winning economist, when he's saying this, you should listen to what he says. You don't win the Nobel Prize just because you're somewhat smart. No, that's not the way it works. Another economist said, you're talking about serious problems that need to be addressed. And listen to this because the way he puts this just really opens your eyes. He states, it's like going shopping for your children when school starts. You don't ask, how much am I going to spend? You simply ask, what do they need? This is exactly what many congressmen and women have been asking and been saying for quite some time. Spend what we need now, then we can evaluate where things stand later. Let's just get the money out, and let's get ourselves out from underneath this pandemic. That's what people have been saying for months. But what do Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, and the Trump administration do? They drag their feet. Granted, Nancy Pelosi cannot do it all. She cannot pass a bill through the House, pass a bill through the Senate, and then go to the Oval Office and sign it. She can't do that. Mitch McConnell, until the past week or so, he has been absent in the stimulus negotiations. It was all in the Trump administration, which is President Trump, Mark Meadows, and Steve Mnuchin. They couldn't get a deal done. Granted, Steve Mnuchin, or President Trump, cannot, as the president, he cannot pass a bill through the House. He cannot pass a bill through the Senate and sign it in the Oval Office. Nobody has that much power. So we're reliant on the president, the House, and the Senate to get something done. And this is the problem that we're having. This also means, that when top economists are estimating that in order to get out of this pandemic, we need about $2 trillion in new stimulus, and it needs to be evenly distributed. This simply means not providing all the funding for businesses and seeing it trickle down to the employees. That's great, but it needs to be evenly distributed. This means if people don't have money, how are they supposed to go to those businesses? How are those businesses supposed to stay in business? How are they supposed to receive any revenue to pay out to their employees? It's almost impossible. So this is why you have to evenly distribute stimulus to the businesses, to the state and local governments, and to the people. This also means providing relief to state and local governments. Mitch McConnell doesn't really want to do this. He has stated multiple times he doesn't believe the money will be allocated correctly. However, not holding up an entire stimulus package just because some states need more money, that is not working. And this is what Nancy Pelosi is doing. Nancy Pelosi wants to not pass stimulus because she is banking on, hopefully, the Democrats will win the Senate. And she can then be like, okay, now I'm going to get my $417 billion for state and local governments, and I didn't have to worry about Mitch McConnell. That's great, but at the same time, we've been waiting months. Mitch McConnell, he's been waiting months, hoping we can just get out of this pandemic. There'll be some miracle, and we'll just be done. Well, it's not happening. This is also why the Problem Solvers Caucus proposal is seen as the benchmark proposal moving forward. What reports are saying right now is the Biden administration is looking at all proposals. They're also looking at maybe possibly doing their own proposal that is something different than the HEROES Act. They're also looking at the Problem Solvers Caucus proposal as the benchmark. That can anybody put together a stimulus package that provides better relief, not more, better. It doesn't need to be less, doesn't need to be more, it needs to be better. And if not, then the Biden administration could look at the Problem Solvers Caucus proposal as the answer come January. Or they're going to look at this as, this is our benchmark. We need to make something better. We need to bring in our own people, make something better. How can we do this? So, what does that mean for stimulus moving forward? First off, we know a second stimulus check is in the next bill. It will be in there. If Mitch McConnell doesn't put it in there, the bill will not pass. Guarantee that. Democrats want a second stimulus check. State and local government funding will be in there. Unemployment benefits will be in there. School funding will be in there. State and local government funding will be in there. Funding for testing, tracing, and treatment will be in there. This is what we know. But also what we know based on new reports out this morning, and this is something I've been saying for about a week, is reports indicate that Nancy Pelosi does not want to negotiate a smaller stimulus package right now. Nancy Pelosi is banking on winning those last two Senate races in Georgia come January 6th. And until then, she will not accept a stimulus package that is smaller than $2.2 trillion. So, here's what will have to happen between now and January 6th. Technically, between now and like December 18th. Is because after December 18th, Congress goes on recess. Congress is done for the year. They will be out of office from December 18th all the way till January 5th. They'll come back on January 6th with a new Congress in session. So, right now, this report is indicating that Nancy Pelosi will either accept a $2.2 trillion offer now, or she's going to wait until Joe Biden is in office come January 21st. And here's the reason why this is so important. And this is what was expected, okay? This is what is expected because this has been what Nancy Pelosi has done all along. Nancy Pelosi is going to negotiate. She's going to spend her time negotiating. She's going to talk maybe here and there about stimulus and how Republicans are holding it up. But here's the truth. Nancy Pelosi does not want to pass a stimulus package now unless it's going to be for $2.2 trillion or more, because she's banking on the fact that hopefully Democrats will win the Senate. They will win back the Senate, and they will have control over the House, the Senate, and the presidency. If that's what happens, then one thing we know for sure is we will see a larger stimulus package, and it will not come until after January 21st when Joe Biden gets inaugurated. That's what we know. That's the sad truth. And the hardest thing about that, okay, for me personally, is I see every single day people commenting on videos, people sending me messages on Facebook, sending me emails as well, saying that they need help. When's stimulus coming? We've been talking about this for months. When's it coming? They need help. They need a stimulus check. They need more unemployment. They need rental assistance. And the hardest thing for me is reading these and hearing the stories. It's tough. It's really tough. But my job here isn't done. I'm going to continue to create stimulus updates. I'm going to continue answering your questions, whether it's here on YouTube, on Facebook, or through email. I'll continue providing help and assistance as needed. I'll continue teaching you guys new ways to make money online and from home. So if you do not have unemployment, there is no stimulus check coming soon enough. At least you can start working on a side hustle to start making some money, to put money in your bank and be able to pay for food, put food on the table, keep a roof over your head. That's what I'm here for. So right now, even though stimulus negotiations will continue, most do not expect a stimulus package to come under a Trump administration. Most are expecting right now it's just going to be a political game between Nancy Pelosi and the Trump administration. Mitch McConnell is the only one that looks like he is serious about a stimulus package, yet the stimulus package he's proposing is probably going to be under $1 trillion. We're going to see this week, but that's what it looks like as of right now. So what I can tell you is just be prepared, because Mitch McConnell is going to put out something that falls, like this economist is saying, woefully short of what is needed. But at least it's something. So let's address the current COVID situation here in the United States. The U.S. reported yesterday on November 14th, 159,021 new cases of COVID and 1,210 deaths. More and more counties and states are now starting to implement new standards. This also means that more places could potentially be on a modified lockdown or shutdown. And I say this because I want you to be prepared for what might happen. I want you to make sure you have maybe enough groceries if you can afford them. Make sure you have a stockpile if you can. Don't go and buy 100 rolls of toilet paper, but make sure you have enough in case your county, your city, or your state gets partially shut down for the next 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. I know here in Washington State, our governor just this morning announced that grocery stores will have a 25% capacity limit. There will be absolutely no indoor dining at restaurants or bars. Even retail stores will have a 25% capacity limit as well, excluding employees. This is big. This is big. It's going to affect a lot of people, especially with Thanksgiving just like a week away, a week and a half away. So it's coming. This is what is going to be the new normal. So just be prepared for that. If you have any questions, let me know. As always, I just want to thank you guys for watching today's stimulus update. If you have any questions, again, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.